what's up everybody? This is a follow-up video to my last video where I upgraded my battery to a 52 volt 28 amp hour battery. So in this battery I'm going to be doing a ride showing you the improvements in speed, hill climbing ability, etc. with my new battery. Before I get into that though, I want to go over a few things about top speed. If you're looking to get the top speed out of your Q1 Hummer, there's a few things you should do. One, starting off with tire pressure. In this video, I'm running 55 PSI in both my front and back tires. The more air you have in the tires, the less friction they're going to have with the ground. Friction causes you to lose power, causes you top end speed. So I generally ride with 55 PSI in my tires. I've actually gone up to 60 PSI just to see if the tires can handle it. And they can, but the tires are really hard at that point, so you get a really hard ride. And I've also at 60 PSI, coming around a corner, once started feeling my back wheel sliding out a little bit. Didn't like that feeling. You need to have some friction on the ground to grab the road with. If your tires are too full, then you could get the tires sliding out from under you on a curve or something like that, and that's not a good feeling. So I found for me, 55 PSI is where I like to run it. I get top end speed with that, and it's still enough of a controllable ride. For me. Having said that, if I were going to ride on a gravel road or on a trail somewhere, not on smooth pavement, I would drop the tire pressure down to 50 PSI. And if it's really rough terrain, I would drop all the way down to 45 PSI. That gives a more spongy feeling in your tires. They can absorb a little bit more of the bumps and rocks and such. So again, for this video, I'm running the tire pressure at 55 PSI. I normally, 90% of the time, I'm running at 55 PSI because I want to get the top speed out of the scooter, and I'm normally driving on pavement roads, smooth pavement, nothing too rough. Okay, so that's that. Also part of the tires is I would highly recommend getting this stuff. It's called Flat Out. You can get it on Amazon. That's where I got this. I put a quarter of a bottle in each tire. Take all the air out of your tire, remove the tire valve, and then put this bottle on, follow the directions, put a quarter of the bottle in each tube, put the valve back in, then air them up, and I air up to 55 PSI. Now, when you push on that tire valve to go to air up with a pump or something, you want to be quick about it because this stuff, the pressure will try to blow this stuff out of the valve. And it'd just be like a little miss. It happens. That's part of having it in there. But I air up my tires after every few rides because you do lose a little bit of air, I guess, through the valve. I'm now getting some new caps to put on my valves to hopefully try and keep the pressure in there more. Okay, next thing, P15 setting. Under your settings on your display, set the P15 setting to 100. If you don't set it to 100, then you're not going to have the ability to hit your top speed with the scooter. It's kind of like, I don't know exactly what it means. To me, it means 100% speed. If you set it to 80, you're going to get 80% speed. So that's one thing you want to check. If you haven't done it already, I've mentioned this many times before, go into your settings and set the P15 setting to 100. Okay, the last point I want to make before we get to the ride video is your battery charge. For your top speed, you want your battery fully charged. If your batteries, as you ride, obviously your battery voltage is going to drop because you're using the charge. Your fastest, highest speed point is going to be right off a fresh charge. For that reason, I like having the top speed every ride, so I have a fresh charge on every ride. If I know I'm going to be riding the next day, then I get back from a ride, I'll fully charge the battery. If I don't know if I'm going to be riding, like right now it's the middle of summer here, it's going to be 115 degrees all this week, and it's only going to get down to roughly 100 in the evenings. So I'm not doing a whole lot of riding now. My battery is roughly about 80% or so, and like if I knew I were going to take it out tonight, I'd throw the charger on it and get it up to 100%. Again, I want 100% of my battery every time I take a ride because I want to have the top speed on my scooter. That's just me. If you don't care about top speed, then you can let it drain down or charge it every 2 or 3 rides or whatever works for you. LiPo batteries, you don't have to fully discharge them in order to recharge them. You can charge them down 10%, 20%, 50%, 80%, it doesn't matter. You shouldn't really, for LiPo batteries, charge them all the way down to nothing. That's not great. You should at least charge them down, or at maximum charge them down 80%. So maybe you got 20%, 15% of your battery. You don't normally want to go too much further than that. However, said that, if I go on a 7-8 mile ride, I only use 10% of my battery, and the next day I'm going to go out again, I'll still fully charge it. You may lose some cycles in the life of the battery, but even charging it after every ride, you're probably going to get 500 cycles. The LiPo battery I have is rated for 800 to 1,000 cycles. If I charge it after every ride, maybe I only get 500 cycles out of it. And a cycle is a full discharge and recharge. So if I'm only dropping it 10, 20%, and then let's say I drop it at 20% in voltage and then fully charge it, I'd have to do that 5 times to equal 1 cycle. That's going to take years. That battery's going to last years. 2-3 years down the road from now, there's going to be better technology than what we have now. The batteries are already getting smaller, as you've seen in my previous video, where I replaced the stock 48 volt, 26 amp hour battery. I replaced it with the 52 volt, 28 amp hour battery. So the battery's higher voltage, a little more capacity, yet the battery's smaller than that original stock one. That's just in a period of a couple of years. 2 or 3 years down the road, there's going to be something even better, smaller, more efficient. And if I still have the scooter that time, if I'm still riding the scooter at that time, I'll get whatever's new on the market at that time, and it's going to be better than what we currently have today. So I'm not worried about running my battery so it doesn't work or doesn't charge anymore. It's going to last a long time, even if I charge it after every single ride. Having said that, if you're not going to ride it for a while, you don't want to leave it at 100%. Right now, like I said, we're not going to be riding. I don't anticipate riding for a week or so until the temperature drops down a bit more. So I got my son's battery at 80%. And that's good. I'm just not going to have it at 100%. Most of these scooters have the alarm module in them, and whether you have the scooter turned on or not, the alarm module is pulling voltage from your battery. So if you charge your scooter to 100% and you have the alarm module even if your scooter's not even turned on, you're going to be losing half a volt a day. You'll be losing about 4 volts in a week. Over a month's period of time, it's going to fully drain the battery. So you need to keep an eye on it if you're not riding the scooter. Or you can watch one of my other videos where I show, I call it hot wire mod. I put a kill switch in there where you can basically shut off the alarm module so it doesn't pull power from your battery. That way, if you charge your battery 100%, it's going to stay at 100%, even for a few days. But again, at that point, if you're going to not be riding for a week or two, you don't want to charge. You don't want to store it at 100% for more than a few days, I'd say. Anyway, so I'm going to be doing another video in the near future about battery charge levels, where to store it. Actually, I know a lot of you guys are going to be coming up on winter here in a couple months, and you're not going to be riding your scooter for over the winter. So I'm going to do a video not too distant future here on the best method, where you should charge your battery to when you store it, and what you should do to store your battery, especially again because if you have your alarm module installed in a month's period of time, it's going to go from 100% to fully drained, and you don't want your battery sitting there fully drained over 3 or 4 month period of time. Let's get to the ride video, and then at the end of the video, I'm going to come back on. I'm going to give some information about where I got the battery, how you can get the battery if you want, and some other comments that you may need to know if you're going to proceed with swapping out your 48 volt 26 amp hour stock battery with a 52 volt 28 amp hour battery, the exact one I got in my scooter. Alright guys, before I take off here, I just want to reiterate for this ride I have 55 psi in my tires, full charge on my 52 volt battery, so that's 58.6 volts, 58.7 volts. P15 setting set for 100, and I am running the new style controller with the torque mod in my scooter now. Gotta wait a little bit longer for the sun to drop down a little bit. It's still pretty hot out. Just wanted to give you a good look at the scooter. I've done a little more customizing to it. Made the whole chassis with this graffiti grip tape. Looks really good. Like it. Same stuff I have on the board, my acrylic LED board, and then a strip on the top there. And I also carried it out on my fender, and also up the stem, steering stem. So looks pretty good. I also added these running lights down on the bottom here, 2 strips on the side. And those things are really bright at night. Nobody can miss you coming with those. And they light up the front area here in front of the scooter a lot more. And then I have my headlight there that I use to shoot down the road a little bit further. I'm going to take off here in maybe 10 minutes or so. I want to do it before it gets too dark so I can actually see the camera. My GoPro type camera I'm using doesn't do too good at night or in the dark, so I'm going to bite the bullet, go a little bit when it's hot out still with the sun up a little bit so you can see my riding a little bit more. One more thing before I take off, here's my battery meter. I'm at a full charge right now, 58.7 volts. That's full charge for the 52 volt battery. Full charge for the 48 stock volt battery is 54.6, so you can see I got 4 more volts than the stock battery with this 52 volt battery. Full charge 58.6, nominal is 52. So we'll take off here in a few. So just want to get that first part, little hill there, taking it easy on it. So hit the straightaway here now. So throttle it, see what we can do, and I'm going to be pretty much full throttle on this whole ride. It's going to be about 7 miles. All right, here we go.
Alright, so right here, our elevation, I don't know if you can see it there, is 1564. So we're at 1,564 feet. And we're going to be going uphill now for maybe 2 to 3 miles. And I believe it's going to go up over 300 feet in elevation in that 2 to 3 miles. And so you can see how we do going up a long stretch of the hill. elevation's now 1915, and just in time to catch the sun heading down behind the mountains over there. Heck, we just missed it, but oh well. That's the valley below Phoenix. And that small mountain there right in the middle, that's I live right next to that mountain on this side of it. You can see we usually did 34, 33 up the steepest part of that hill. No problem over 30 going uphill. Alright, let's roll.
Alright guys, so I just want to show you this from the ride. Distance, did a little bit, yeah, about 7 miles, slightly more. Average speed, 23.5 miles per hour. Now that's all my moving speed, including slowing down, coming to a stop. Let's go and take a look at the track. And as you can see, it was basically, I cruised up that hill pretty slowly. I didn't want to hit it until I got on this part here. Then accelerate up to 38, 39, 40, 39, 38 easily, then slowed down, made this turn here. Again, got up to 38, 39 miles per hour, 40. Slowed down again, made another turn. So easily, I can cruise easily 37, 38 miles per hour. Pretty much full time. Now right here is where we started going uphill, and bring that down a little bit. So this is the uphill part. 33, 34, in the 30s, low to mid 30s, and then this is the steeper part of the hill, going up to the very top. 32, 33, 34, right in that range, all the way up to the top there. Turned around, came back down. Of course, going downhill at this point a little bit. 39, 40. Didn't want to push it too much through there because that road was really narrow there. And then bringing it on home here, same. So you can see, works pretty good. Can easily cruise around 37 miles per hour most time, maybe get up to 40. Let's take a look at our battery now. So I'm at 85%, use 15% of my battery. You can see the voltage at 56.2. Again, the stock 48 volt battery, when fully charged, is 54.6 volts. So I'm still a couple volts higher after taking that 7-mile ride at full throttle pretty much. I'm still a couple volts higher than a fully charged 48 volt battery. So you can see the big difference there. Again, use about 15-16% of my battery to go 7 miles at pretty much full speed. So in theory, I could do that like 6 times over and still have like 10% of my battery left. One more thing I want to mention, I do have the newer style controller in this with the torque mod on it. So between the torque modded new controller and the 52 volt battery, that's the results I'm getting. Alright everybody, before I go, I want to give you some information on where you can get this battery. It's a company that's in Shenzhen, China. Shenzhen is in southeastern China, kind of links Hong Kong to mainland China, so it's a big industrial area. And company I bought this battery from, again, I got it off AliExpress, but this company sells on AliExpress, is Shenzhen Believe Technology Company. And the person I was dealing with there, her name is Wendy Lee. I had gone on Alibaba to start looking for a battery. I had put inquiries in with 4 different battery manufacturers, and Wendy got back to me within an hour. And I put this in on Saturday night, so it's like Sunday their time. They're like 15 hours ahead of us, and she must be on call or something, because within an hour of putting in that inquiry, she got back to me. So I was pretty impressed with that. Pretty responsive. So I just started talking with Wendy. Told the dimensions, what I was looking for in a battery, the size, the dimensions, the voltage, current, all the details. And we started going back and forth over the next couple days on building this battery. So yeah, basically that's where I got it. Shenzhen Believe Technology Company. If you want to get one of these batteries, the best way to do it is to download the Alibaba app on your phone or computer. And then go in and search under suppliers for Shenzhen Believe Technology on the Alibaba app under suppliers. And just to show you real quick, here's my Alibaba app. I'm going to open that. Going to the search engine, click on suppliers, and then type in Shenzhen Believe Technology. Shenzhen Believe Technology under suppliers. Enter that. And there it is, Shenzhen Believe Technology Company. If I click on that, that'll take me to their website. There they are, Shenzhen Believe Technology. They make all kinds of batteries for solar, all kinds of power solutions. And then if you simply scroll down to the bottom, there's Wendy, Ms. Wendy Lee, Overseas Sales Manager. And from here, I would just send inquiry. You could chat, but I would just go with send inquiry because, again, they're 15 hours ahead of us. And just go in there. Wendy will get back to you. You can mention my name, Michael. Tell her, she dealt with Michael for a battery for a Q1 Hummer. I mentioned to her when I was talking to her when we were wrapping things up that she could make some notes or something in her system for that exact battery and call it something like Q1 or Q1 Hummer. So maybe she did that, so she might know exactly what you're talking about at that point. Other than that, if you want to, you can just drop me an email, and I will copy you on an email and send an email to Wendy myself, so we can all be on the same page. That might work a little better. It's up to you, or you can do it yourself. Doesn't matter. The reason to go through the Alibaba app is eventually, if you go get this battery, you're going to pay through Alibaba. So it's good to have the app, and then you can do tracking and keep in touch with Wendy through the app. The way Alibaba works, basically you make your payment to Alibaba. They hold the payment until you get the battery or whatever you're purchasing. Once you receive the battery and say you got it, then they release the payment to the supplier. So it's pretty safe. I've bought a ton of stuff off Alibaba that way, and I have no worries about getting ripped off or anything like that. Plus, like I said, Wendy, man, she rocks. She got back to me all the questions I had, got back to me so quick with everything. About 3 days later, I finally started hearing from these other vendors that I sent inquiries to, but by that time I was already in process of purchasing the battery from Wendy. So there you go. There's other ways you can get a hold of Wendy. She has a direct email, wendy@blvpower.com, or if you just go on the internet and type in https://blvpower.en.alibaba.com, that will take you directly to their website. And then again, you can scroll down and find Wendy as their sales manager down at the bottom. Again, I would recommend going through the Alibaba app, because if you're going to buy the battery, you're going to want to pay through Alibaba. And so you might as well just get the app right from the get-go and be on the same page with that. So that's who you contact. That's where I got the battery. That's where you can get it. Get a hold of Wendy. She'll help you out. Again, I can't say enough about her. And if by any chance her employer, her boss or anything catches this video, give this girl a raise. She really went out of her way, replying back to me on the weekends, and again was 3 days ahead of any of the other suppliers that I contacted about getting this battery. Okay, here's some other notes that you probably should know if you're going to go ahead and purchase one of these batteries. First of all, the battery is a 52 volt, 28 amp hour battery, and it has a 30 amp continuous output, so it can continuously put out 30 amps. Peak, I guess it could go higher than that, but 30 amps continuous. And one thing I want to mention, in this battery, they are using Samsung 18650 35 milliamp hour cells. So these aren't some cheap knockoff cells. They're Samsung cells, and they're the 18650 3500 milliamp hour. Those are the highest capacity 18650 cells on the market today. That's why previously that other battery, the stock battery, is actually bigger in size than this one, even though it's less voltage and less capacity. That's because I'm guessing in that battery, which was probably built two to 3 years ago, they weren't using the same 3500 milliamp hour cells in it. So the more capacity a cell has, the smaller the battery can be because you need less cells. So again, using the Samsung 18650 3500 milliamp hour cells, which are the highest capacity 18650 cells on the market today, and of course Samsung. So again, they're not just some cheap knockoff cells they're using in this battery. The dimensions, the exact dimensions of the battery are 305 millimeters by 110 millimeters by 70 millimeters. The original size that Wendy came back to me with was a little bit bigger. I think it was 370 by 110 by 70, but the actual size, once it was all built and completed, again, this is a custom battery that they built for me, but the final dimensions on the battery I have my scooter measured 305 millimeters by 110 millimeters by 70 millimeters. Okay, and the output plug is an XT60 connector. That's this connector that you have on the controller, and it's on the regular battery right here. It's an XT60. You can see it says right on there XT60. So you want to specify an XT60 connector if she doesn't already know that. Like I said, if you mention Wendy battery, mention my name, Michael, battery for the Q1 Hummer, she might already have all this information listed down somewhere. But again, XT60 connector, and it comes with a nice 5 amp charger. Here's the charger, 58.8 volts. That's the top charge for the 52 volt battery, and it's 5 amp. The normal Q1 standard charger that comes with the Q1 Hummer, it's a 2 amp charger. So, you know, if the battery, the stock battery, 48 volt stock battery comes in Q1's fully drained, it's going to take you 12 to 14 hours to charge with this thing. This is a 5 amp charger. It charges in half the time as that does. So really nice charger. I can be down to like 70% battery, and I can charge up from 70% to full charge in a couple hours with this. It's more than twice faster than the stock one, which is good. So nice charger you get with it, and for the total price of $441, includes the shipping to your door for $441, the battery and the nice 5 amp charger and the shipping, $441. Pretty good deal. Okay, here's just what happened with me. I paid on May 15th for the battery. On May 26th, Wendy sent me some pictures. It was already manufactured. Sent me pictures of the battery, the charger, everything, just so I can confirm it looks like what I want. And I actually received the battery on June 5th. So a total from the day I purchased it, the day I paid for it, to the day it arrived at my door, total of 3 weeks. So good timing on that. You know, a lot of times you buy something from China, it's going to take a month, maybe 2 months. 3 weeks is a super great time, especially since the battery wasn't even made yet. You know, when I talked to them, they had to make this battery custom for me. So again, I can't say enough about this company, Shenzhen Believe Technology Company. The interaction with Wendy was great. She was fast, she was knowledgeable. They built the battery, shipped it to me, and got it to me in 3 weeks. It wasn't something they had sitting on the shelf. They had to custom make this thing for me, and to pay for it and get it in 3 weeks, that's awesome. Okay, moving on. When you get the battery, there's not going to be a fuse holder in it. Yeah, I don't know if you necessarily have to have one. I think it's a good idea personally. So I bought these blade fuse holders off Amazon. I'll link that down in the comments. It's 14 gauge wire, which is the same as what's on the battery. And basically what I did is the red wire coming out of the battery used to go straight to the XT60 connector. I cut that and instead ran the battery side into the fuse holder. I got a 35 amp blade fuse in there. The other side I ran back out to the XT60 connector. So I just basically put an inline 35 amp fuse. You probably don't have to do that. I like doing that just to try and protect the controller should something go wrong, or the battery for that matter. Again, the battery can put out 30 amp continuous, peaks higher than that if you're, for short periods of time. So I put a 35 amp fuse in here. Okay, so that's one more thing. Fuse holder. Next, the charger you're going to get, which is this one, it's going to come with a charge plug that looks like a regular standard cord. It's going to look like this on one side and going to look like this on the other, which is fine. You could use that if you want to somehow rig that into your Q1. I personally wanted to use the existing charge port on my Q1 Hummer because it's already got a hole, it's already in there, it's already mounted. So what I did is I basically, on the inside, cut the wires off my old battery, black and red, wired those up to my new battery. So now my new battery is just rigged right up to that same charge port. And then I had two chargers, two Q1 chargers, because I have two scooters, so I just cut the plug off one of them and wired that on to my new charger so I can use that same port. So this was the plug that was originally on my Q1 charger. I now put it on my new charger. So if you want to do that, you can cut the plug off your old Q1 charger. But if you're going to keep, I would suggest keeping your old battery charged up as well. So you're going to want to, from time to time, charge that old battery, maybe throw in the scooter, run it a little bit. If you want to do that, you might want to get a new plug, and I believe they are GX12-3P aviation plugs. You can get those on Amazon. I'll link that down below too. And
the main thing here I want to stress, get yourself a voltmeter if you don't already have one, because when you're wiring up these plugs, you want to make sure, absolutely beyond a doubt, that positive is going to positive and negative is going to negative. So sometimes when you're wiring up different ports, you know, a different connector, you could get something backwards. If you do that, you're going to short out the battery, you're going to blow the fuse in your charger, which you can replace, but it's best to not go down that route. If you get a voltmeter, you plug in your charger, you figure out which pin's negative, which one's positive, and then verify on the other side which one's negative and positive, just to make sure you've got everything wired up correctly. Highly recommend that. You should absolutely do that. If you're spending $400 on a new battery and charger, spend an extra $20, get yourself a voltmeter so you're absolutely sure you've got the polarity correct on your charger to your voltmeter, or to your battery. Okay, so that's about it, I think, folks. Lastly, again, if you want to connect up with Believe Technology through Wendy and you want my assistance, drop me an email. Here's my email, maikemarx@gmail.com. If you want to do that, I can send an email directly to Wendy. Make sure we're all on the same page. I can copy you on it and go from there. Beyond that, if you have any questions about this upgrade with the battery, or if you get the battery and you run any problems or questions about wiring up your charge port to the charger, or anything at all, feel free to drop me an email. I really don't mind. Not a lot of people do that. You know, I've helped out quite a few people, but it's not like overbearing or anything. So don't hesitate. If you're going to get this battery, you got any questions, if you get the battery, have any questions, if you want me to help you get in touch with Wendy, drop me an email. I'll help you do that. Again, maikemarx@gmail.com. And that's about it, folks. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to think about doing this, it's a great upgrade. I highly recommend it. Gives you some more speed, some more hill climbing power. I would also do the torque mod on a new controller, and then you're going to have a whole new scooter at that point. All right, guys, that's it for this one. Peace.